Peoria and Georgetown counties, we welcome you back to Sound Off, heard weekly on your favorite radio station. And again, our goal at Sound Off is to deal with topics that are relevant to our young people and relevant to you, the community. And during our first segment, we were really honored to have as our very special guest, Avette Brown, who's having a wonderful bullying workshop on this morning at 9 o'clock in Florence, South Carolina. And so what I want to do for the next segment, let's talk about what's on your mind. And so that leads me to Sound Off crew. Would you like to introduce yourselves at this time?
Yo, what up, what up? Good morning, it's your boy Tyrell.
Hello there. This is Raekwon Gruber.
Welcome, and this is Jonica.
Good morning, y'all. I'm new to the show. My name's Austin. Y'all gonna see me more.
Y'all give it up for Austin, new Sound Off team member. Woo! You know, we hear all the time. I know you guys watch the news, and of course, you interact with young people. Before we came on, I was talking to one of the Sound Off crew. She was just telling me about the serious problem of bullying. And we don't talk about it enough, but let's just be honest. We see it in the news. We see it locally. And, you know, if we could keep it real, you probably know some kids that are being bullied.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to talk about. I'm just excited again that Avette Brown and the wonderful people in Florence are putting on this workshop. But let's talk about, I'm going to begin with you, Austin, and I know you new kid on the block, but have you ever been bullied?
As a matter of fact, I have been. To be honest, I've been bullied since 6th grade.
So, I mean, what were the reasons why you think people bullied you?
To be honest, I really don't know. But, I mean, like me growing up, I really didn't have many friends. I mean, I was picked on, laughed about, people saying, you know, I was ugly, stank, dirty, all that type of stuff, you know. It bothered me. But, as I've grown up to be the adult I am today, I really don't care what people say.
Okay, let me ask you this, Austin. I'm not trying to get serious, but I'm happy that you have definitely overcame all of the problems you face with bullying. But Avette was talking about the fact that because she was bullied, a lot of the things that she did, she tried to internalize it, meaning she didn't talk to people. Her parents didn't even realize that she was being bullied. Is that the same situation for you? Were you able to talk about it, or were your parents aware of the fact that you were being bullied?
No, they really wasn't, because I was the type of person to keep it quiet and just let it build up. I like hold in my anger for some reason. Being bullied is just not good, right. In a way. It's just not, because in a way it affects how your life is, because it affected mine, but I still overcame it.
Okay, all right. And Jonica, have you ever been bullied?
I was bullied, kind of weird kind of bullied, though, because I never had the physical bully, and I never really had the confrontational bully. I had the behind the back type thing, and it wasn't like they were trying to hide it. It was like they were openly kind of letting me know that I was not accepted. I never knew why, because I've never been the one to outright be mean to people. I was always the sweet girl, or at least I tried to be, and I wasn't mean to you until you were mean to me. And I never talked to my parents about that, because I felt as long as they ain't putting their hands on me and I ain't having to bash no faces, I'm cool. Mm-hmm. They can say what they want. They're not saying it to me anyway. But I never realized how much that affected me till maybe this year, when I realized a lot of my insecurity was birthed from that. A lot of the things that I say I can't do came from people telling me I couldn't do it. Wow. Telling me I wasn't this.
Okay.
Which is kind of why if I see something going on like that, it will really make me mad, and I have to step in, because it's like, who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do? You have no control over me.
Right.
But yet, I still let it affect me, even though I tell myself day after day, it doesn't affect me. The more you say it, it's kind of like the more you know it does.
Wow. And Jonica's getting a little emotional, and rightfully so. So I guess that brings me to you, Ray. What do you think the danger is when you don't share? Because Jonica talked about the fact, nobody's physically touching me, and so she didn't really think it was a big deal, but emotionally, she was being drained. Now, what is the danger of not being able to share that information or going to somebody and confiding in them so your self-esteem could be built back up?
I think one of the biggest dangers is the insecurities itself, because,
Okay.
I mean, I was bullied. I was bullied physically, mentally, verbally, all that. And I never really shared it either. So I guess it makes you, well, I don't know how it affects everybody, but for me, whenever I would be bullied and I couldn't get it out, that's how I do everything. I bottle my emotions. I never share it with anybody. I'm learning to do that now, but maybe middle school, whatever, I bottle everything up till it gets to a breaking point where I'm just depressed and I feel like no one's here for me or like all that stuff. So I feel like it makes you either just very sad or you just get very angry. And I can be like, well, for me most of the time, whenever I feel as though people are talking about me, that's another like insecurity. I just get mad at everybody, and then I just want to be hyped for no reason or like confrontational. And that's coming from me, and you don't really, know me as that kind of Ray.
Right.
But whenever I feel that insecurity kick in, it's like, okay, so they're supposed to be my friend, but they're talking about me behind my back. I have no evidence whatsoever.
Right.
But because in my mind, I feel like they're talking junk about me because, I've been through that before. So I want to confront everybody, and I want to cut ties with everybody. I want to fight everybody. I want to mess with people the way they messed with me to get them to touch me so I have the right to fight them.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that, Ray, but okay, you know what? That is really worth talking about, because think about it. You won't go out and murder anyone. I know you wouldn't, Ray. I know you well enough to know that. But let's think about the fact that, no, seriously, let's think about the fact that we've had a lot of unfortunate situation in Horry County. People dying, people being shot. Would you think some of that could be contributed to the fact that they have a lot of things inside and just not able to talk to people?
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, I guess some people take it harder than others. I took it hard at first, but I started talking to my little sister, Deja. I mean, she got older, so she started understanding stuff, and she went through a little bit of the same stuff. So I got to talk to her about it, so at least I had some kind of outlet to get it out. But, I mean, I couldn't imagine not having anybody to talk to for, 17 years?
Wow.
17, 18 years old? I couldn't. No, because I guess that's what's wrong with them. They just can't take it anymore, and they feel as though, I mean, what's the use in being good anyway? They might as well just do what people do to them.
Because it almost feels like when you do have that, I'm alone, I don't have anyone to talk to, it's almost like the world, you're sitting back watching all the world progress, and you're at a standstill. It's like, well, here I am, I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, then you have to realize I'm not.
Right.
I'm sitting here quiet while the world's going to keep going on. And so you kind of some people like me kind of push forward, and that's even more dangerous because that's like you have a block in front of you and you're trying to walk forward, so you're just going to keep falling and getting back up, still having that block in front of you.
So now it brings me to you, Terrell. Have you ever been bullied?
I have. I've been bullied since I first started middle school, and it wasn't fun. Like, during that time, I was really looking for, like, friends and people to talk to because, I wanted that. Like, I seen other people having that type of friends, those type of real close friends you can go and talk to and have fun with without no problem. And I try to do that. I try to make friends, and it seemed like nobody would, be that with me. And then I started hearing people talking about me during school, in the classrooms. Like, people would just make jokes about me in the class, and the whole class would laugh. And I was just sitting there looking confused, like, why would you do this? I've done nothing to you. I've tried so hard to be nice to other people, and hopefully they'll be nice to me, and it hasn't worked. And to be honest, I really hated middle school because of that. And I never wanted to go back. I've had thoughts in my mind run through that I wouldn't even believe. I've had even adults in the classroom laugh at me because of what the children say. And nobody understood where I was coming from. Like I said, I really didn't have any friends in there, so it kind of stayed in there. And whenever I go home from school, I'll just close my door, put my face in a pillow, and cry, because it seems like that's all I could do, because they wouldn't stop for nothing. And then I finally went to my mom and told her, and then she started talking to the teachers, but it seemed like nothing worked.
Wow. And you know what? Just looking at Terrell To be honest with you, I would never have thought that because, as I was saying in the first segment, when I was saying to Avette, bullying has definitely taken on a new face. I mean, I cannot assume that Jonica Brown, that seems to be this very confident young lady, very beautiful, or Ray, who has this wonderful personality, or even Austin, someone that seems very confident, and even Terrell, I'm telling you, so that's why we do Sound Off, because we need to know. We need to hear your voice, and we need to know what you're thinking. And so that brings me to the fact that I'm the adult on this panel, and I'm going to you, Jonica, as the other female. What happens if I realize that you are having a problem, and then I began to reach out because I feel that I can help you? Sometimes, as adults, we're rejected. So what are your suggestions? How do we handle this bullying thing? Because with Horry County Schools, it's zero tolerance. So it shouldn't be tolerated. But we know on the down low, the kids are doing it. So give me your take on that.
There's no real definite answer on that. Why? Because everybody handles it differently.
Okay.
Like, take Ray. He gets hype with it. I don't. I become an introvert. I get quiet. I tone down. Because I always got picked on for being skinny and being extra, as they call it. Mm-hmm. Because I never heard of somebody getting picked on because they were thin, but that's what happened to me. Mm-hmm. I was skinny and small, and I still hear it to the day. But I stopped letting it affect me as much. But why I don't talk about it is I don't like to cry. And I know that it's been sitting there for so long. As soon as I open my mouth about it, I'm going to cry. And that'll irritate me because I feel like that's not supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. But some others might not talk about it because they feel they don't want it to get worse.
You know, Jonica and Ray and the others, as I sit here and listen to what, like I said, really would never have had an idea that you guys were being bullied. What I want to talk about, and I know we might have to go into the next segment with this, but I want to go to you, Terrell. What do you think is the danger of masking or putting on the facade when you actually do have a problem?
I believe when you put on a facade or, like you said, masking, you kind of take that emotion and stress or whatever is causing, whatever the bullying is causing you put it inside, you let it build up. And whenever something happens to the point where you let all that out, something major might occur, and you don't want that to happen. So it's important to find something or someone to let some of that anger or whatever out, because if you don't, something worse might happen to what you don't want to happen, and then other feelings might occur where you're like, oh, well, I didn't mean for this to happen, and people might start looking at you different than they already are. So
once again, Horry and Georgetown counties, that's why we do Sound Off. It's a program designed with our young people in mind. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.